What's up, everybody? So we're continuing to go back and look at newspaper articles that were being printed at the time of Brendan Dassey and Steven Avery's arrest, going over everything that was being printed in the press at the time everything was originally going on. Now we're into March 2006. This article is from March 7th, 2006, and it's from the Madison, Wisconsin State Journal. The title is Items Seized in Halbach Murder. Authorities seized more than 40 items, including hair fibers, mattresses, and various knives, as they investigate the murder of a young photographer. Search warrants were issued last week after prosecutors accused a 16-year-old boy of participating in the murder of Teresa Halbach with his uncle, Steven Avery, who was released from prison in 2003 after serving nearly 2 decades for a crime he didn't commit. Brendan Dassey was charged Thursday with being party to first-degree intentional homicide, mutilation of a corpse, and first-degree sexual assault. In the search, investigators took swabs for DNA samples, fingerprints, and palm prints from Dassey, which they have found nothing linking him to this crime. Literally nothing. I don't just mean they found one little speck of tiny thing. They found literally nothing. The 43 other items seized by investigators included a gun rack, hangers, a grass hula skirt, wall paneling, pieces of concrete floor from a garage, bullet fragments, and paint remover. Avery has denied involvement in the murder of 25-year-old Halbach, who was last seen October 31st when she went to the Avery family salvage yard. Avery, 43, is charged with first-degree intentional homicide and other charges. More charges are expected. This next one isn't really an article. It's called Sound Off from the Janesville Gazette. It is where people from the public can call in and leave their comments anonymously. And there's one comment in this section of the paper from March 8th, 2006, and it states, and I couldn't agree more, on Steven Avery: he looks like the poster boy for the death penalty. Now I'm taking this as they're trying to make him the poster boy for the death penalty. They tried to bring back the death penalty in Wisconsin specifically for Steven Avery. That's something we have gone over in the last couple of videos, and it's absolutely crazy that they were trying to do that. This next one is from March 8th, 2006, from the Madison Capital Times. It states the county has concerns on Avery property bond. He was trying to post $500,000 bail using the property. The Manitowoc County Corporation Council says the county has significant concerns about a motion filed by the new attorney for a man charged in the killing of a 25-year-old photographer, seeking to change the $500,000 cash bond to a property bond. The motion, filed by defense attorney Dean Strang of Madison on behalf of Steven Avery, asks the Manitowoc County Judge Patrick Willis to consider a bond on mortgage on the Avery salvage yard property owned by Steven Avery's parents. If Manitowoc County gained title to the real property as a result of default, it would be forced into being the landlord to Steven Avery's family salvage business. That is an unreasonable result that Manitowoc County would prefer to avoid. If a third party were to pay the bond amount in exchange for the property, the county's concern would be minimalized. But if the county became the default owner, Manitowoc County is extremely concerned and opposes such a bonding. The County Corporation Council said the condition of the salvage yard is questionable, so they did not want Steven Avery to be able to use the Avery salvage yard as bond in order to post. Instead of paying $500,000 cash, they wanted to put up the salvage yard. But of course, the Manitowoc County Corporation Council, whatever that is, was fighting it and did not want Steven Avery to be able to do that. And of course, they won. So this next one is from March 9th, 2006, and it's from the Madison Capital Times. Kidnapping rape charges for Avery. A man accused of killing a young freelance photographer was charged Wednesday with kidnapping and raping her. Steven Avery, 43, was originally charged with being party to first-degree intentional homicide, being party to mutilating a corpse, and possessing a firearm by a felon in the slaying of Teresa Halbach on October 31st, 2005. Additional charges filed Wednesday accuse Avery of being party to first-degree sexual assault, kidnapping, and false imprisonment of Teresa Halbach. According to the criminal complaint filed in Manitowoc County Circuit Court. Avery's nephew, Brendan Dassey, 16, was charged last week in the case after investigators say he gave a detailed account of what happened to Teresa Halbach. Brendan Dassey said he went to Avery's home to deliver a letter to his uncle, and Avery told him he had sexually assaulted Halbach, according to the complaint. Not only that, they also allege that Stephen Avery invited 16-year-old Brendan Dassey to join his crime. Does that make any sense to anybody whatsoever? Dassey said he raped a 25-year-old woman as she begged for help while tied to a bed, and then he and Avery stabbed her and strangled her and shot her. They also allege that he cut off her hair. This is all based on Brendan Dassey's forced confession, which they can prove none of. Anybody can say anything they want when they're scared by police, but it's up to police to prove that, and they can't prove that, but they still convicted him. Strangled and shot her, and the two of them threw her in a burn pit. According to the complaint, the teen was charged being party to first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree sexual assault, and mutilation of a corpse. Last week, Special Prosecutor Ken Kratz said he would file more charges against Avery based on Dassey's statement to police. Avery was that's why they got Brendan Dassey to say the things that he did, so that they could lay more charges on Stephen Avery. Avery has denied any knowledge of Teresa Halbach's death. In another development Wednesday, Kratz filed a motion asking a judge to increase Avery's bail from $500,000 cash to $2 million cash. New information has come to the attention of the state as the investigation has proceeded to require the court to consider denial of bond. The character and strength of the state's case has increased since they got Brendan Dassey to falsely confess, of course. The character and strength of the state's case has increased since the last time bail was considered, including the additional of an eyewitness. Stephen Avery has a bunch of witnesses now saying other things, but, the court won't hear that. Stephen Avery's attorneys filed a motion seeking to change the cash bond to property bond. The motion asks Manitowoc County Judge Patrick Willis to consider as bond a mortgage on the Avery family salvage yard owned by Stephen Avery's parents. A hearing on the bail issue will be March 17th. Alright, and that's where we're going to leave today's video. So much information in these newspaper articles. Let me know what you think of what is going on in the case today, and leave some comments below. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again soon.